It's something like that.
Hello, boys and girls. You're listening to the 13th episode of the Inexperience Points podcast. I'm Jimmy the Pap Shepherd, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Chris McCormick. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay, we are back after our comeback last time. It's been a little bit longer than we would have intended initially, but I mean, what did it take us? It took us about a week or so to get that episode out after we'd edited it. Well, after we'd initially recorded it, because I was trying to get back into the swing of things. I realised that I had some weird, complicated process using various programs to edit the podcast and put it together and make it sound alright and then upload it. And after a year and a half, it took a bit of time to get back into the swing of things, didn't it?
Certainly did.
But anyway, we're back now. We've not left it another year and a half, so I'm feeling good. I think we're on a roll. What do you reckon?
We're on a roll, absolutely. This is, the second? So that's more than we could have hoped for, really.
It is more than we could have hoped for. Lovely. Let's get into it, shall we? Mm-hmm. I would very much like to hear about what you've been playing recently.
Okay, then. Well, I've only played one other game other than Overwatch.
Okay.
Which I'll probably get into later. But, yeah, so the game I've been playing over the past however many days is Not a Hero.
Not a Hero.
Not a Hero. So tell me, do you know anything about Not a Hero?
I know it was on PS Plus.
Yep, that's where I've got it.
I also know it was by the guys who made... I think, was it the developers who made Ollie Ollie, I think? It's quite a good indie developer.
You're telling me.
Yeah, I'm second guessing myself there now. It was a game that I'd used to like, and they made Not a Hero afterwards.
Fantastic.
But yeah, it might have been them. Other than that, I don't know a lot, so I'd appreciate some more knowledge.
Okay, cool. So I was kind of going into this blind. I hadn't played any of the recent PS Plus batch, and so yeah, I just decided to give it a bash, and I was very happy I did. It's it's very much an indie title. It's kind of got the bit style graphics, platformer, but it's really cool. It's kind of like the mechanics are quite simple. It's all kind of like leveled levels, like so layered, and so it's kind of like a shooting game. So you start off, and it's quite a funny storyline. There's this guy. I'm trying to think what he's called, like Bunny Lord or something, and he's running. Yeah, well, he is a bunny, and he wants to be
the Lord of Bunnies.
Yeah,
the Lord
President
of all bunnies.
Or yeah, okay. Well, and humans. But for some reason, you only play humans, but he's this giant bunny.
Oh, okay.
And so I didn't really pay much attention to the story. I just kind of jumped straight into it. But essentially, he's running for, I don't know, some sort of his political candidate, and your job is basically to do all his dirty work, but he doesn't see it as dirty work. He sees it as just what needs to be done to get elected.
Okay, right.
And it just involves killing a lot of people. So although like it's very cartoony bit style graphics, but it's extremely adult. Like it's very violent. It's full of terrible language. And it's got a great sense of humour. But you start off, and there are loads of characters. I'd guess about, I don't know, 8 maybe. But you start off with just one, which is this guy who is Bunny Lord's best mate, or Bunny Man, or whatever the fuck his name is. And he's got very much like the basic mechanics. So as I was saying, like there's loads of different levels on this. There's no by levels. I don't mean like as in stages. I mean as in floors.
Platforms.
Yeah,
kind
yeah. And you can't jump. You can slide, and you can shoot.
Okay.
And that's kind of the basic mechanics. So, and go into cover. So they're the main things that you need to worry about. So sliding is really useful because it allows you to trip enemies. And when you trip them, you can do, I'm trying to think what it's called, like an execution, where you kill them in one on the floor.
Cool. Okay.
So you can either slide to cover or slide to trip and then execute. But when you're executing, you have to be careful because you're not in cover. So that's one of the main mechanics. When you're in cover, you can also reload. So the first guy, he's just got like a basic handgun. And yeah, he's very much kind of like an all-rounder. But then as you progress through the story, you unlock more characters who'd have different traits.
Oh, okay, so they've got like specialities, have they?
Yeah, exactly. So I was quite enjoying the game anyway, but I really liked how I'd really like the different styles. So like the second guy, you unlock, they've all got really strong accents as well, which really makes me laugh. So like the second guy's got like a really strong Scottish accent, and he's got like a shotgun. And then so these two guys, they can't reload whilst they're running. So the third woman, the third person is a woman with a really strong Welsh accent. And she,
okay.
It's all about the strong accents. And she can reload while she's running. So that's like her specialty. And then there's like, as it goes on, there's I haven't unlocked all the characters, but there's different ones. Like there's a guy with a faster shooting gun, and there's some like sex pest character who's just constantly gyrating his hips as he runs around.
Nice.
He makes me laugh. But my favourite that I've unlocked so far is this alcoholic bloke.
Oh, really? Okay. Is there any particular reason you're quite fond of him?
Well, firstly, I do love the fact that he's constantly pissed, and he even says so. He's like, they all shout something when you start the level, and he's just like, he starts to go, "I'm a bit pissed, to be honest." It's just like, but he is actually really good. He's basically got there's the Scottish guy with this shotgun, but he's got like two shotguns, but he only has two, but they're really powerful. But he only has one shot with each, and then has to reload. But on top of that, one of the most useful things he's got like a silent execution. So, because he's supposed to be an assassin, so he's an alcoholic, pissed up assassin. And so when they're on the floor, he basically stabs them rather than shoots them. So it's like a quiet kill. So it doesn't alert enemies in other rooms.
So he's either very powerful and loud, or actually really quiet.
Yes,
depending on how you take him.
And constantly pissed, regardless.
Excellent.
Yeah, so he's my favourite so far. I've unlocked a guy. I unlocked a guy after him called Jesus, pronounced Jesus.
Okay.
But I don't like him as much. No. But he does. Well, he's got like a fast shooting gun. So anyway, yeah. So that's the characters. So straight away, like there's loads of like character and humour to it. But the actual concept of, so the way you unlock these is completing percentages of the game, and as you get through different percentages, you unlock more, and you can go back through and replay the levels because some levels are more suited to some characters than others. So if you struggle, each level it is just a case of completing it. But on top of that, there's 3 bonus objectives. So the first time round, you might feel like you can get through the level. But you might not get all the objectives. So the objectives are often time-based, so complete within a certain amount of time, or get to it. Like it might be like get to the payphone, but the payphone's only available for like the first 30 seconds. Or get to the. There's one where it's like get to the press because Bunny Man wants to give like a speech or something. But by the time you get there, like by the time I got there, I was never quick enough, and they're all dead because you've got the other objectives as well, which is often like kill everyone or do a certain amount of executions or do a certain amount of critical hits. You get critical hits when you're close to enemies.
Cool. Okay.
Or there's like bonus items around. There's power-ups for your weapons as well, which are quite fun. One of my favourites, I think, is called the cat bomb, which which reminded me. Do you remember on Worms when there was like the sheep bomb?
Oh yeah, it'd send a little jumping sheep at someone.
Yeah, it's a bit similar to that. It's just like this cute cat, and it just meows, and it's just really cute, and then it just blows up, and it's like one of the most powerful power-ups on it. So yeah, so there's 3 like bonus objectives, and each one unlocks more percentage towards the end of the game. I think there's about 21 or so levels, and I'm on like 16, I think. Or
you made good progress then.
Yeah, it's not like, it doesn't seem like it'd be an overly long game, but yeah, it's a load of fun. I definitely recommend playing it. I think the only other last thing I'd say is just like the sense of humor is fantastic.
It does sound pretty up your street, and on my street as well, to be fair. Yeah, it's just really rude and immature and daft. Like, just to give like some examples, there's just one where the objective is to kill this. I think it's like an investigator, and I can't remember. He's supposed to have some dirt on you or something, and you chase him through the level, and there's obviously bad guys as well as him, and he's running away, and you have to kill him and get his briefcase. And then afterwards, after the end of every level, you meet in this little calf, and like Buddy Lord, or whatever his name is, runs through like how the mission went and stuff. Okay.
And on this one, he's like, yeah, so we looked in the briefcase, and all we found was like pictures of his family and some terrible drawings by his kids. It's like, oh, it turns out we committed a shocking murder on the wrong person.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. So it's just like there was one as well where you're supposed to collect this thing. I can't even remember what it was, like a robot or something. And you go through the whole level. So whenever you complete the level, you have to escape. You have to meet Bunny Lord in his like car or helicopter or whatever he picks you up in. And you're supposed to collect this robot. And you go through the whole level, and the robot's literally next to where he landed. So you get right to the end of the level, you pick up this robot, and you get in the helicopter. And then, like, Bunny Lord afterwards, he's like, "Oh, sorry about that. If I knew that the helicopter was just there by the landing, the robot was just there by the landing pad, I would have just picked it up myself." And your guy's like absolutely mashed on this chair with like blood all over it. Like, oh, sorry about that. I didn't realise I could have just got it myself. Like, it's fucking brilliant.
It's like the fucking Lord of the Rings dropping the ring into the fires of Mount whatever it was situation, and then the griffins or whatever just come and pick them up at the end anyway.
Yeah, so yeah, couldn't we have just flown those over? That would have been handy.
But then it wouldn't have been much of a level then, would it?
No. It was thoroughly enjoyable regardless.
Great stuff. So you said you had some more comments to make about Overwatch.
Yeah, so Overwatch I've fallen out with a bit.
Oh no!
Over this past fortnight, and I think it kind of came after last time when I was gushing about how good it is.
You were. Well, we both were.
Well, yeah, and to be fair, I don't really take that back. I've just had some bad experiences with online. So after all I was going on about, I've changed. I like online games now. I've just had some like really gash experiences.
Oh no!
Like with people dropping out not at the start of the game, not soon enough for it to cancel the match, but like in the first round. So it just like screws you for the rest of the game, and just people just playing terribly. Like I was playing as Mercy, and nobody would stick together, and I'd be healing them, and they'd like leg it off and leave me on my own. And it's just nobody playing properly. People playing Reinhardt and then thinking they're playing Soldier and going off like not getting the shield out, just trying to bash everyone to death. And this is like in ranked matches with like people who've got like gold and stuff. You'd think they'd know better, but. So there was that, and then obviously there was the Bastion situation where, for those who don't know, we got powered up.
Yeah, but Bastion's gone for a bit of a funny kind of tumultuous life throughout Overwatch, hasn't he? Like at the start, everyone was just like, "Oh, Bastion's overpowered. He's so overpowered," because when Overwatch first came out, Bastion was possibly the easiest character to just sit there and rack up the kills while everyone was still learning the game. No one really knew what they were doing or how to beat him. You know, Bastion's just a robot. He can settle himself down, make himself into a big powerful turret, and just hold down the fire button and watch the kills rack up. But you know, it's been said that as the game's been out longer, people have got the hang of taking him down and finding out his weaknesses. And he got to the stage where, even though he was okay in sort of casual play, like no one would pick him hardly in proper competitive play anymore, because he was actually then underpowered. You know, everyone knew how to take him down. Yep. So yeah, Blizzard have been saying they wanted to buff him up, and they released their little manifesto for Bastion 2.0, didn't they, a little while ago? And we commented about how it seemed a bit over the top.
Yeah,
They at the time. And you know, what have they buffed? They buffed his damage, resistance to damage, didn't they? His healing ability can now be used while he's moving. When he's in, I always get them mixed up, but when he's in turret mode, he's now got more ammo and stuff, although he's less accurate.
Yeah.
And I think
that didn't really make a bloody difference compared to like the positives far outweighed the negatives, didn't they?
So I've not played it yet since the patch. So how have you found him to be?
He just ruins games. That's the long and short of it. It just becomes far too much focus about taking out the Bastion, and a lot of the time it doesn't even work. Like you can be with loads of characters, like the ults won't even kill him. Or, you know, you'll be ulting him and he'll just casually be running off healing himself. Or there'll be two of you on him and he's still not dying. I played it just yesterday or the day before, and I was soldier, and I rocketed him, and then I was stood on top of him shooting him and shooting him and shooting him, and then he'd still kill me. He'd just heal through it and then kill me when I'm reloaded.
Wow.
There was one when I shot him with a rocket whilst powered up by Anna's ult, and then carried on shooting him and still didn't kill him. And it was just like, this is fucking ridiculous.
It's strange for, you know, Blizzard, they're usually so good with balance, that they seem to have got him so wrong.
Yeah, it's quite hard to understand, because it's not like it wasn't fed back to them. Like during the testing, it was said that he was overpowered. And it just seemed like they ignored it and then they released it and everyone complained, and then they're like, oh well, we're nerfing him because the lead game designer played and said he was overpowered.
Yeah,
but I don't know why it took so long to which I'm really happy about. As I say, like just had some really crap games with him.
You see, I want him to be viable. I quite like him as a character. When I first started playing Overwatch, I pretty much exclusively just played him, mainly because I'm a noob. And I just liked the idea of getting easy kills back when people didn't really know how to take him out.
Yeah.
But I do also like him as a character with his cutesy little bird and all his beep boop noises and stuff. So yeah, I'm quite excited about the idea of him being better. But yeah, I don't want him to be ridiculously overpowered. That's no fun for anyone.
Yeah, that's it really. It just... it became too Bastion focused. There was barely any games without him, and when they were, it was always a priority to take out the Bastion. And as I say, there was times when we took out the entire team and still lost because of the Bastion.
Oh no!
Just like sitting in a corner. Honestly, if you stick the Bastion with a Mercy and a Reinhardt, it's just like,
oh god.
Good fucking luck, because he's hard enough on his own without someone. It's just like, yeah, really frustrating. Just not fun at all. So yeah, that was my other main gripe with it. But you know, still playing it, still sometimes enjoying it, but it's obviously still better when with a group.
Yeah, and it's it's the kind of game, it evolves over time, and when Blizzard fuck up like this, it didn't take them too long after it went properly live for them to say, yeah, we messed this up, we're going to undo it, go back to the drawing board. So I'm fully confident they'll work it out in the end.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. It took a while to. I don't know if you remember, but that eco point glitch.
Oh yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, there was a 3v3 mode, which was quite fun. It was just set on one particular map, and I didn't witness it firsthand. I know you had a lot of issues with it, but it was where you could glitch someone through the map using
it's
Maze Wall, wasn't it?
Maze Wall, yeah.
And then you said that they could just then shoot you and you couldn't shoot them back. Was that right?
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it, yeah.
And as you say, it did take them a while to fix it, didn't it? But, I mean, they said afterwards it was more difficult than you would have expected. I guess I'll have to take their word.
Yeah, I don't think it helped that it was over like the Christmas and New Year period as well, wasn't it? So
good point.
Wasn't the most convenient time for a game-breaking glitch.
No. But, yeah, we all make mistakes. We'll let them off, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for your input on that. I'll move on to what I've been playing, shall I? Mm-hmm. The first one I'd like to bring up is Ghost Recon Wildlands. Now, I played the beta of this. For anyone who hasn't heard about it, it's Ghost Recon's been a long-running franchise, hasn't it? It's kind of like a tactical, stealthy, squad-based shooter. That was its original roots, and now in true Ubisoft fashion, they've made it into this big open-world game where you can do anything, loads of side quests, all the typical Ubisoft open-world kind of tropes. It's got bits of Far Cry, bits of Just Cause,
fetch quests.
I'm sure it will have fetch quests.
Go get me some milk.
Probably get the milk. Yeah. Everyone got really excited about the E3 trailer because it looked really cool. Big focus on co-op, which is always good fun, as we know. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, people were quite excited by the concept of it. Now there was a beta weekend. Was it weekend before last, I think? And I was, tentatively interested in playing it, so I thought I'd download it and give it a quick go on PS4. Now, I was absolutely appalled. Like,
so, sounds good.
It was literally, I felt at the time, like I literally audibly kept saying, I was sat there in my room by myself. I don't usually talk to myself that much, but I was literally just saying,
that's what they all say.
This is absolute shite. I can't believe this. This is so bad. Just to try and run through a list of what was wrong with it. The opening cutscenes were just embarrassingly awkward and poorly executed. They were just so wooden. The voice acting was horrible. It was really dull for what's like a big sort of action game. Exciting sort of taking down drug cartels sort of concept. So that didn't get off to a good start. I thought, this is a bit weird. For a AAA game, you usually expect big rambunctious opening to set the scene. But yeah, it just got worse from there. The controls were so ropey. The driving was really bad. Like, you can drive around Jeeps and APCs and all sorts, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of freedom there. But the driving just felt awful. The shooting felt really wooden. I mean, it worked, but it wasn't great. Graphics were poor. The matchmaking system was shit. It just kept putting me with idiots. And
it's Overwatch.
Oh, yeah, it's Overwatch, I guess. I guess no one's fully cracked the code there, have they, of perfect matchmaking?
Just a lot of idiots. That's it.
It had like a mission order, and rather than let me matchmake for my missions in order, it just randomly plopped me in someone's game, and they could be in a higher mission in a more dangerous part of the map, and I just started the game, so I wouldn't stand much of a chance. And it was just buggy. Character models were just like spazzing out. AI was running into walls. It was pretty easy actually as well. Like for what used to be like a stealth game, I remember just for a couple of missions in a row, I just sat in the back of some kind of armored vehicle with a turret on the top, and I was just blasting away, mowing everyone down. It was just really easy, and it just, I was just shocked basically by how bad it was.
So did you say this was the beta?
Yeah, so this was the beta. And
did you feed any of this back?
No, I couldn't be bothered to report to Ubisoft. I mean, the thing was, this was only a few weeks before launch anyway, so
it's launched, is it?
Not quite yet.
So
or is it just about launch? I've lost track actually of when the actual launch day is.
Yeah. No, it must be coming up then.
Yeah.
So I think got that one to look forward to.
Well, you see, this is the weird thing. I genuinely thought, like, literally, that game stayed with me for the next 24 hours. I kept thinking, that was so bad. Like, I couldn't get over how awful it was. Because Ubisoft open world games, they're quite repetitive. They have the same kind of ideas, the sort of getting to an outpost. You know, Assassin's Creed, you're doing your eagle eye thing. With Far Cry, you get into the outposts. Even like that driving game, The Club, you had to sort of use outposts, and then you can scan the map, see all your side quests. They've all got those similar kind of quests that you're all familiar with. So it had that repetitiveness, but it just felt mechanically really bad and broken. Whereas usually Ubisoft games are at least fairly well polished, other than the Assassin's Creed games they fucked up, like Unity. Which, didn't sound too good. So anyway, I was shocked by that. But I was even more shocked today when some of the first actual reviews started trickling in. Because people were praising the hell out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's only been a couple of reviews so far. A lot of outlets are still kind of review in progress. And to be fair, it's probably some of the less reputable outlets that have reviewed it so far. But Games Radar gave it a 9 out of 10.
Fucking hell.
Time gave it 4.5 out of 5 or something. I just kept hearing that it's actually really good. And I was bamboozled by this. I didn't understand it. Such a weird turnaround.
Yeah, I can't imagine they've fixed that much in a few weeks.
You wouldn't think so, but then one review I did find which explained things a little bit more. It was from a outlet I've not particularly heard of. It was a bit of a more obscure one, but I read their beta impressions article, because this was the thing. I wasn't alone. You know, I went on Reddit and I was like, is it just me? Well, I didn't actually say this, but I was thinking, is it just me? But no, I was looking through the main Reddit thread, and almost everyone was saying, yeah, actually, this is pretty bad. And this outlet had done a beta impressions article where they said, you know, we're pretty concerned. This seems quite repetitive by the numbers. The missions are boring. It's not particularly good. But their full review, they're giving it an 8 out of 10. And so it sounds like the beta just gave a really bad impression of it. I think they've tweaked things like the driving mechanics and stuff to tighten it up, give it more polish.
Yep.
Since the beta. Because often betas are running on old code. By the time the beta would have released, they'll have probably actually advanced the build of the game since then. It's just the weird way sort of betas work. So they've obviously had more time polishing it up, which it desperately needed. And I think just the intro bits of the game are quite boring and hand-holdy and easy. And once you fully get into it, it's meant to be a bit more entertaining. I'm still a bit sceptical of the kind of 9 out of 10 sort of scores. Yeah. I can't imagine it ever being quite that good, but I'm now interested to get more opinions on it. Really.
Yeah, I think you've certainly piqued my interest. I'm quite interested in playing it just to see whether it is any good or whether your initial beta impressions were right and it's kind of stuck with a load of issues. But
because we like a good co-op game, particularly a shooter.
Yep.
And it'd be good if it turned out to be decent. We'd quite enjoy getting on that, I think. So we'll have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe we should keep an eye on it, and if we can get it for a good price, give it a bash.
We do like a good bargain, don't we?
Yeah, we like a good bargain. We like a good bash.
That we do. Okay, so speaking of bargains.
Oh yes, it's that time, is it?
Well, it's not quite that time. The bargain bin bundle bollocks time, but we will get to that. We will get to it. Hold your horses. Don't worry.
Thank goodness.
Good things come to those who wait. Instead, I'm actually going to talk just briefly about the other game I've been playing, which is Battlefield 1.
Ah, yes.
Which I picked up for a mere £20 on PS4.
Didn't you buy that at work?
I did, yeah. I bought it from Ben. He'd sort of had his fill. It was
shout
good.
out to Ben there.
Yeah, shout out to Ben.
Leave us a review, preferably positive.
Yeah, I bought your game. Now give us a review in return, please.
That's
That'd be
why
nice.
I bought it. He doesn't listen to the podcast anyway, but I'll tell him tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll tell him.
Then you get a shout out.
So, I've always loved Battlefield. Ever since Battlefield 2. I really love the kind of core gameplay loop of the main conquest mode where you've got to capture the flags. It's like a constant push back and forth. Your enemy's got most of the territory, you're pushing forward and taking over it, and then you're like, shit, yeah, we've almost got the whole map. The whole kind of bunkering down from the waves of enemies that are after you. It's like 64 player. There's all the tanks, the planes, and all that sort of thing. There's so much going on, so much action, so many explosions. You're in squads, giving and receiving orders, helping each other out. It's great fun. I don't, however, usually like World War 1 and 2 games nowadays. I've kind of thought I'd had enough of those. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's not usually my go-to. I like a bit of... I usually like some sort of fantasy or some sort of alternate universe in my games. I don't... Well, it's not that... I don't know. I find World War 1 and 2 a pretty depressing subject.
They are, with good reason, really.
Well, yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's not something I usually think of to go to in my gaming, really.
No, I still feel burned out from that period in time, like kind of PS2 era, where all shooters were just World War II and stuff. There's Medal of Honor, there was the earlier Call of Duties, all that kind of thing, and I just felt sick of it. But I've been really pleasantly surprised with how much I've enjoyed the World War One aspect of this. It's got the same core kind of gameplay loops as Battlefield, all the stuff that I love. But because of the World War One aspect, everything feels really ropey, but in a good way. The guns are quite hard to handle and inaccurate, and the tanks are a bit shitty, and you can ride on horseback, which isn't ideal. It's not exactly a very well protected form of transportation.
Do you get horse armor?
You don't get horse armor, not even if you pay a microtransaction, or at least as far as I'm aware, you don't.
Watch this space.
I know Bethesda will get in there.
Bethesda will listen to this and they'll jump on it.
They will. But yeah, I've been very, very pleasantly surprised. I've got back into my usual kind of roles that I like playing. I like medic. That's always been my number one. I really like the idea of sort of being able to heal myself, but also being able to help out my squad, kind of running into like a kind of bullet hell and reviving my teammates, all that kind of thing. Is really cool. And I do like support as well, just sitting down, bunkering down with a machine gun and blasting away. That's good fun with basically unlimited ammo.
So you mean you get in the corner and you play Bastion?
Yeah, it's basically Bastion. It's literally Bastion, although you can't heal while you're running around unless someone else heals you.
Yeah.
I don't want to delve too much into it. You know, Battlefield's been out for a while, and there's not been much of note going on with it, other than I think the first DLC is coming out, if it hasn't already. But for that, I'd have to buy the pricey season pass for £40, which maybe not.
Yeah, that's quite steep.
It is steep. We'll see. I'll wait till I get a bit of a reduction on that.
But no, I can see your interest in that. I think I'd also find that quite refreshing. Like, as you say, like everything being a bit shitty. A nice refreshing change from kind of like the smooth, almost, well, in some cases definitely futuristic elements to these games. It'd be quite nice to get something a bit more like old school and real almost.
Yeah, because everything has gone in the opposite direction, hasn't it, to how things used to be. You know, as you say, it is all futuristic now. Overwatch has definitely got a futuristic vibe to it.
No, certainly, yeah.
Obviously, there's the latest COD, Infinite Warfare. There's Destiny. There's Halo still going about.
Yep.
I feel like I'm missing one. Titanfall, that's the other one. Titanfall.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is actually quite nice to get back to the roots of warfare.
What the fuck is that on Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever? Why is there dinosaurs and robots? It looks old and futuristic at the same time.
I'll tell you what. Should we talk about that in the releases and news bit at the end of our podcast?
Yeah, that makes sense.
We'll save it up, shall we? We'll get into that. Cool. I look forward to it. In the meantime, I would love to hear about your toilet game of the week. Now, I feel for our new listeners, you know, when we quickly got back into it last episode, we didn't really explain what the hell was going on. And for our loyal
I didn't
fans,
know what was going on.
Well, no, you weren't really sober enough to know what was going on.
This is why I rely on you. You need to tell me what's going on.
I do. So I failed you, and I failed the listener in that regard. So I do apologise. We have our features every episode, though, don't we? We do. First, we like to speak about what we've been playing. Then we get into Toilet Game of the Week. Well, we can do it in any order, but we've got Toilet Game of the Week, which is every week I pick out a lovely Android mobile game for you to give a shot. One preferably that's come out recently. We call it Toilet Game because obviously they're great for playing on the toilet, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. That's
do you like
where
to play on the toilet often?
Yeah. With games or with anything generally.
With anything, yeah. Just have a quick play.
I like to do anything on
when
the
you're
toilet.
bored.
Like brush my teeth, read a book, do my hair.
Oh, reading a book on the toilet's great.
Yeah,
I'd thoroughly recommend that.
Throw darts.
Yeah. No, I haven't
cut my toenails. But sometimes I play a game as well.
But yeah, sometimes you play games, and that's what this feature's all about. Our other feature coming up, which probably needs even more explanation, is Bargain Bin Bundle Bollocks. And that lovely alliterative feature is where every episode I buy a bundle of absolute cheap as hell bollocks indie games. Pick one out that looks particularly interesting, give it a whirl, and explain how I got on with it. That's the gist of it, really, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So now I've explained that, please do tell us about your toilet game.
Okay. So, my toilet game. Can you remember what it was?
It was Fire Emblem Heroes, if I recall.
Yes. Fire Emblem Heroes. I'm really glad, actually, that you gave me this toilet game. Because I really like it. It's a really nice toilet game.
Oh, that is what we like to hear.
And it is actually good for the toilet.
Okay. But not in a derogatory way.
No, not as in like you need to wipe your ass with it and flush it. It's got good like short battles.
Ah, okay.
So
Perfect for a short break.
Yeah, ideal. And you can play it in long stints as well, if you like. And I've put in. It's a bit of a weird one because I've actually put in quite a few hours to this game, but I feel like I've only just scratched the surface, and I feel like there's quite a lot to it that I just couldn't be bothered looking into. So I've just kind of covered the basics and just been cracking on. And I'm probably doing it. There's loads of items and stuff. Okay. I don't know what they do, and I think they like help you level up quicker and stuff like this, like hero feathers and all sorts of things. I don't really know what they do.
Well, it's fun to wing it sometimes, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm just working through the battles really, and but yeah, so I haven't bothered following the story of this. The first thing I'll say, like, so I've been playing this on my tablet, and the art style is really nice. It's very much kind of a manga style. Or anime, however you want to call it. So all the heroes, which I presume they're all from the Fire Emblem series. I know a lot of them are, but there's a few like random ones, like old men and funny looking weird ones that don't like quite fit the same art style. So I don't know whether like I've got one called Arthur, and it looks like some sort of like gay superhero.
Oh really? He sounds excellent.
Yeah, he's really funny, and he's like. He's just like kind of he looks a bit like Banana Man.
Great, okay.
And he just talks with this big posh bold voice. I don't know what the fuck he's from. I don't think he's from Fire Emblem, but maybe he is.
There have been quite a few games over the years, haven't there? Quite a few games in the series, so he might have been more of a niche character in one particular release.
I'll tell you what, I'll do a bit of research. I'll make a note to do a bit of research and find out where these characters are from.
Please do.
But some of them are like the kind of archetypal, like
blue-haired warrior.
Yeah, all that shit. I'm trying to remember. There's one of them that he shouts something when he does an attack, and it's really pathetic. It's something like, "Justice comes first."
Oh God.
Or some bollocks like that. It's like, shut up, mate. Get Arthur back. But anyway, so the premise of this game is that you're some sort of summoner who can summon these heroes. And I amuse myself by calling myself Jerk Off, with an F. So not two Fs, not Jerk Off, Jerk Off. So they're just talking. You're the best, Jerk Off. So I really like that. So you can summon these heroes, and the principle is you can put these teams of 4 together, and you have these sort of battles where it's kind of, what's the word, like a kind of above, like a
bird's eye view,
yeah, kind of thing. And it's kind of like it's broken up into squares, although you don't see the squares until you tap on the character and make them move.
Okay.
And there's basically 3 main types, and it's split into 3 colours: red, green, and blue. One's like lance, one's axe, and one's sword, I think. And I can't remember which way around it is. I think it's like red beats green, green beats blue. It's
got like a rock paper scissors sort of thing going on.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to kind of strategize to make sure that your units are fighting the right people, because if you're leveled up enough, like your green could be a red for example, but you're less likely for that to happen. Then they're going to do more damage to you than you're going to do to them.
Sure.
But on top of that, there's also neutrals, and there's short range, and there's like long range. So, like for example, I've got a neutral that throws daggers, so he doesn't need to be on the square next to someone to attack. He can be further away. And there's also like healers and things like that. So that's quite fun. And one thing I like about it is every battle, units earn their own experience. So if you've got one guy that goes in and cleans up, he gets all the experience. So you can't just like have some twat at the back doing nothing, taking all the experience. Yeah. So I quite like that. Lost my train of thought now. So yeah, that's kind of it really. So there's stories, There's the main story, but there's also like different stories, and there's loads of these characters. I think there's like over 100, and you collect these orbs, and you trade orbs in for like random new characters, and there's all the stuff like, you know, like the heroes charge stuff where there's star ratings and levels and skills.
Yeah. Have you got any? You know, I hear that like the 4 and 5 star heroes are quite sought after. Have you managed to get any of those yet?
No, I think the best I've got is like 3.
Okay. It's cool. Something to work towards. Yeah. I think they're quite rare, aren't they?
There must be, yeah. As I say, I don't really like... I am going to put... As I say, I'm glad you recommended this game, and I'm going to keep playing it. But I really don't feel like I've scratched the surface. I've kept very much the same squad for a long time. I had my original 4, and then I got some new characters and switched to them. I've got this guy that throws daggers that I love. He's like... He's an assassin that's obsessed with, like, candy. And
okay.
But he's like really good, like, because he's neutral as well. Like, he just like a lot of the time he just runs battering people. I've got this old man that heals them, and he's great as well because he's just like, oh, I'm too old for this. He doesn't literally say that, but he's just like got really low self-esteem.
Oh no, bless him.
I'll do my best for my age. It's like, mate, you're good. Better than that twat that keeps going on about vengeance or whatever, justice.
Oh, well, excellent. I'm glad you're giving him a new lease of life.
Yeah, he's good. But if there's a hot anime woman that heals, I'll switch him out. That's my idea, really.
That's fair.
For anime women. That's the ambition. As much as I like my old man and my candy assassin and Arthur, or whatever his name is. But yeah, I don't think there's a huge amount more I've got to say with it about it. There's all the usual stuff, daily missions to keep you coming back.
Okay.
I know it's free to play. I've had no issues. I've never been tempted to buy anything. I've only like once ran out of stamina, and that's like, so every time you do a battle, it costs stamina, and then you wait for it to go back up. But it takes a while to run out. Like, I played it quite a lot before it ran out.
So unless you've eaten something a bit off and you've had a lot of toilet breaks during the day, you're probably unlikely to get through that then. Yeah,
I can't see myself like ever thinking, oh, I want to play this for a bit longer, because I think it's good in short stints as well. Like I have played it, once for an hour or so, and I did get a bit bored by the end. But I did feel like I should carry on because there's more boxes to tick, like more quests to do. There is a lot going on. Like, as I say, for a free game, there is a lot of like different missions and stories and things that I don't know what they are. Like a training tower that gives you stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, loads of characters, all have loads of different skills to unlock, and yeah, there's just a load going on, and it's good. I couldn't really recommend it enough, considering it's free.
Yeah, it sounds like Nintendo and obviously the actual developer have done a good job with this one.
Yeah, I think it's very polished. It's a nice game.
Excellent. So, of course, you can carry on playing Fire Emblem, but you will have a new task set to you.
A new priority.
Yes. And for next time, I'd like you to check out a fairly new game called Wobblers.
Okay.
Now...
Wait, Wobblers.
Wobblers. Just Wobblers.
Wobblers.
Wobblers. And I'm looking at the blurb here. Wobblers is an exciting and addicting arcade game in which you're equipped with a rocket to navigate your character to the highest heights. On the way up, you'll have to collect power-ups, avoid obstacles, and keep your wobbler aboard.
What the fuck's a wobbler?
I think it's a thing that wobbles.
I think I'm going to hate this game.
Right. Now, don't get ahead of yourself. I think it looks alright. It looks like it's kind of an upwards kind of platformer. Well, not really a platform. It's not really platforms. But you've got to kind of collect little creatures and balance them all on your rocket board while collecting coins and avoiding enemies and stuff, maybe?
Is it like an endless runner, like the highest high score kind of thing?
I think it's actually split into levels.
Oh no, that means I've got to invest more time into it.
Not necessarily.
No.
You just see how you get on. It's free to play.
Oh, good.
I
There
saw
we
a
go.
few
That's
other
really-
options, but this one was free, so I know how you like a good freebie.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing how you get on. So that's your feature done and dusted with. We'll get over to Bargain Bin Bundle Bollocks. Now, with this one, I struggled quite a bit. I bought a bundle. I've never before seen value. I mean, I kind of say value in inverted commas. If you could watch me right now, I'd be there making the signs with my fingers. But,
yeah, quotes, yeah.
yeah, this was 46 indie games for $1. Can you imagine making a game and it being valued so little that you have to put it in a bundle of 45 other games for $1? And then obviously
Imagine some
they're
developer
taking a
found
cut.
that out.
So the revenue for that bundle is split between 46 developers, the bundle seller, all of the expenses and everything. Like, that's incredible, isn't it?
There's some developer sat at home with his family, and they're all around a lump of coal at the fireplace, waiting for the check to come through the door. Don't worry, Steam will pay. Steam will pay for dinner tonight. And fucking 2 pence comes as a check, and they just have to use it to throw on the coal.
Oh, mate, that got dark quickly. It's probably true, though.
Yeah,
Shit.
other than that, just killed themselves.
Well, dark developer stories of woe aside, the quality of the games was kind of what you'd expect from a bundle of that type. But the problem was, I couldn't find much in it that wasn't so diabolically poor that it was actually worth talking about. Does that make sense?
It was just
It's
dull.
just absolute tat to the point where it wasn't even worth making fun of it. It was just shite. But I found a different bundle, something a bit more standard.
So just in case the listeners want to buy this 46 46 games for £1.
Yeah.
Can you remember what it was called?
I can't, you know. I think it was on Indie Gala. It's called something like the Mental Bundle or something. Insane Bundle. Something like that. Insanity Bundle? Maybe? Yeah, something like that.
Well, look out for it, folks.
Yeah, look out for it. But instead, I would recommend the bundle I went for the second time round, which I think it was called the Tempest Bundle. It was about £1.30. Came with around 7 games, one of which is Evoland 2, which I've heard is actually pretty decent. But we're not interested in the decent
that's not
bollocks.
what we want,
That's not what we're after.
No, nobody wants decent bollocks. We want...
No. It's all about the bollocksiest bollocks you can find. And I was not disappointed by one absolute gem I unearthed in that bundle. It's called The Grandfather.
Oh, yes, this is a good start.
Yeah,
Is...
even the name sounds good, doesn't it?
Please tell me it's a Japanese art style grandfather.
So...
AKA grandfather pervert.
Ish?
Yes, excellent.
Now, it's actually quite a sad tale.
Oh.
This grandfather, he's been married for decades, but his wife is a very evil, unloving woman.
Yeah, well, marriage does that.
It happens. It happens to us all. Now, they have to sleep in separate beds. He gets no affection or love or anything from his mean old wife. And then one night he wakes up to find that he is just a disembodied head. Now, I'm trying to get across the ridiculousness of this game. It made very, very little sense.
What don't you understand about it? It seems quite black and white to me.
So there was some narration said in really weirdly quiet, hushed tones. It's basically really badly voice acted, and you could hardly make out what it was saying. But
well, imagine how much they paid for the voice acting. Well, probably a packet of crisps to a tramp.
Probably.
Guys, we're gonna make 46p for this game, so we're not gonna fucking pay for a voice actor.
Now, okay, so he's a disembodied head.
Yeah.
And the game just kind of keeps repeating itself. It zooms very slowly through a very badly drawn mansion, and then you see the grandfather weirdly contorted with an umbilical cord. And then you're playing as the disembodied head bouncing down a tunnel. And then he finds one of his missing limbs.
Oh, okay. It's starting to make sense now.
And then the weirdly hushed narrator will start saying, "The grandfather finds his arm. Now he can play ball again."
Oh, that's nice.
And then it switches to a puzzle.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, I think the puzzles are probably the best part. I mean, it's the only real gameplay in the whole thing. And each puzzle is completely indescribable. I mean, it's not described what you're supposed to do, but you're the disembodied head just floating around a room, and you've got to just randomly click stuff and hope for the best.
That's a puzzle, is it?
And that's a puzzle. And like, there's no explanation of what your goal is. You're just kind of clicking stuff and hoping that you're doing it right. And like one of the puzzles, he's floating around his bathroom, and then you press him on the sink, and the sink starts overflowing with blood. And so he's sloshing around in all the blood. And then you float over a bit more, and you find his toilet. So you click the toilet, and then the toilet starts overflowing with blood. And so you end up flooding your bathroom, and then a weird demon will appear, all the while you're floating around as this granddad head.
Yeah.
And it's making the most bizarre, incredible sound effects. And it's so weirdly animated. He's like contorting his face in like weird, I don't know, displays of pain and angst.
What, the grandfather?
Yeah, the grandfather. And it would just make like weird kind of spooky noises when you click stuff. It'll go like ba-bum or woo, ah, like when you click stuff.
Yeah.
And so you keep clicking away. Finally, for no real reason, you've completed the puzzle. And then it all repeats. You're back to zooming in slowly to umbilical cord grandfather and bouncing down a tunnel. You find another limb. The narrator says some weird, ridiculous exposition. And then, same again. Another weird puzzle. Now, I had Sophie around at the time that I was playing this, and she was trying to do something
You've since broken up.
Well, it wasn't quite that bad. But she was like...
This is the last straw, James. Playing these weird fucking games every time I come round. And now there's a fucking granddad head with a fucking umbilical cord hanging out of it. And a demon in the sink.
I mean, I wouldn't have blamed her, really.
No, absolutely. People have broke up for less.
All I can say is she's very tolerant. And so she was trying to send some important emails. But for the entire time I was playing this game, which thankfully only lasted about 30-40 minutes, she was transfixed, like in utter horror at what was going on. She could not concentrate on what she was supposed to be doing. And I can't say I'm surprised. It was definitely one of the weirdest things I've played in a long time.
I'm going to throw this out there, and let's play videos aren't something we've done, but I'd quite like to do a let's play video of this.
Yeah, I completely agree. It is something that would lend itself very well to that. As I say, it does only take about half an hour to complete, and it's very enjoyable from start to finish.
Maybe I'll put that on the to-do list as well as the better make a note of these.
Yeah, okay.
Find out Fire Emblem Heroes Arthur.
Oh, yeah.
And let's play the Grandfather.
Nice one. So, we'll upload some screenshots at the very least. I've taken some lovely screenshots of that for the audience. So that will be up on the blog post. You can peruse them at your pleasure. That's done and dusted. I'll find another excellent game from the murky depths of bargain bin hell for next episode.
Yes. Well, that was thoroughly enjoyable, so I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
I'm not sure I can quite live up to that one, but I'll see what I can do.
I don't know whether, like, whoever wrote that was, like, seriously depressed or on medication or both.
Possibly.
Or just has a really weird sense of humour and no understanding of game design.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to work out if they were taking it seriously. It does seem deadly serious. Like, it seems like this is something that someone's poured their heart and soul into, and they think they're making a really dark, chilling, gripping thriller, but it's just the most ridiculous thing ever devised. Oh well. It was entertaining in its own right. We'll give it that.
And you've got 6 more games for you on £1.40, so...
I have. I might even find something else good in there if I have a look. Well, bad good. Good bad. Yeah. That's what we want. Sweet. We'll round out this show with news and releases, shall we? Now, you were asking about Horizon Zero Dawn, which has just come out recently, which has obviously been a big release that people have been pumped for a while. Another one
really good reviews, I've seen.
Yes, very good reviews. Another one which got people excited with the E3 trailers. Now, unfortunately, it's going to be a bit blind leading the blind. You're asking questions here, but I've not played it, and I couldn't claim to be anywhere near an expert. You're asking about these robot dinosaurs?
Yes.
So, what did you want to know?
How does that happen?
How does that happen? Right. Anyone who's played the game or read more into it is probably going to get pissed off with what shit I'm waffling on and blagging here. But I think in Horizon Zero Dawn, it's well past the downfall of civilization.
Okay.
We've probably advanced civilization past this current point. There's probably AI, robotics everywhere, all that kind of shit. There's been a catastrophe, apocalypse. So it's kind of a post-apocalyptic world. It's a long time after the apocalypse. So it's very rural, everything's overgrown, people are living in tribes. And then there are dinosaurs? I've just kind of, in a roundabout way, managed to not answer your question in the slightest. But I guess somehow the robotics, which probably led to our downfall, became part of dinosaurs. I'm grasping at straws here.
That'll do.
That'll do.
That's fine.
That'll do.
But
it looks good, doesn't it?
It looks beautiful from what I've seen.
Yeah, very pretty.
I don't know. I was never that intrigued by it, and I'm still not.
Okay.
Maybe just robotic dinosaurs aren't my thing.
I mean, it's interesting because it's by Guerrilla Games, and their main thing is Killzone, which I used to quite enjoy, but it's known for being very grey, very bland, very dark. And with this, it's, really lush, vibrant, exciting world.
I was quite impressed by how they've just mixed it up.
They're not a one-trick pony. That's pretty good. I've got to respect them for that at the very least.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Me too.
at some point, one of us will get to try it, and then we can talk about it, can't we?
Yeah, I think it would be unfair for me not to try it. Just to like, go, I'm not. It's probably one of those things. I'm like, oh, I'm not that keen on it, and then when I actually play it, I'll be like, this is the shit. you don't get reviews like that if it's. Well, then again, maybe you do with Ghost Recon.
I don't know. I'm interested to find out what's happened with Ghost Recon. That's blown my mind a bit, but yeah, I probably got. I don't know. The beta probably wasn't very representative of the final game. I'll just say that. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, it sounds that way.
Now,
Hopefully.
we're absolutely spoiled right now with stuff that's come out and is coming out. We've got Mass Effect to look forward to soon, which, mate, that's got to be immense. Like,
yeah, I'm still kind of tempted to take a week off work and just.
I wouldn't blame you.
Mass Effect week.
I very much trust BioWare. They've spent so long working on this. You know, they delayed it by like another year because they wanted to get it just right. So we've got that to look forward to in a couple of weeks. We've had the Nintendo Switch come out. Obviously, that's a big one, isn't it?
Oh, is that out?
Oh, so the Switch, which last episode you said you'd never heard of, I think you were taking the piss, weren't you?
Debatably.
Just, yeah, probably a little bit. So it is now out. The new Zelda, which you hadn't heard of, Breath of the Wild, is also out.
Also very good reviews.
Also incredibly good reviews. Like, the best game ever kind of reviews, which is breaking my heart a little bit right now. I mean, Zelda is one of my favourite franchises. Ocarina of Time was my favourite game for many years.
Me too.
You too?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
That and Final Fantasy VII. They were always up there together.
Okay. So, I mean, that is something very much looking forward to trying. I don't have much interest in buying a Switch yet, though. Do you?
No.
No.
Although I do feel it wouldn't be right to not play this game at some point.
Yes. Absolutely.
But no, at this time. But I also do love Smash Bros. So at some point, for a reasonable price, I can see myself picking up a Switch.
And I mean, let's face it, a new Smash Bros. Hasn't even been announced. So
there will be one.
Oh, there
will be one.
Definitely be one. Definitely. The problem is though, like the default controllers are pretty shit. So you're gonna need to buy a pro controller, which are expensive, to be able to properly play that. But I don't know.
So I think basically it's a case of waiting, isn't it?
Definitely. Patience will really pay off. I've heard a lot of hardware issues with the Switch. There's a lot of reports of the wireless Joy-Con controllers having connectivity issues. There's reports of Wi-Fi issues. Even the stand which the tablet console connects into, some people are saying it's scratching the screen a bit, putting it in and out.
Oh, for
it's, you know, it sounds like there's a lot of teething issues going on right now, and it just generally seems really half-baked at the moment. There's not many games, obviously. There's not much of an infrastructure there. It's a very, very simple UI, very simple functionality. It plays games, that's literally it, which is fine.
That's Nintendo's thing, isn't it?
It is.
They always just go.
You can't even fucking get Netflix on it. There's not a web browser, and this is a tablet. You know, what is typically a mass multimedia device. It's a weird one. But anyway, Zelda.
Do you know of any other games other than Zelda have been out? Like,
so,
are there any games of note?
No. As well as Zelda, there is...
Deal or no deal?
What?
Deal or no deal Switch?
God, I hope that never exists, but it probably will. There's Snipperclips, which is... I don't even know if it's out.
Simulator?
It's some kind of co-op puzzler. That looks alright. There's 1-2 Switch, which is this daft minigames where you're milking a cow and stuff, and for some ridiculous reason...
Fucking hell.
No, have you not seen this?
No.
Yeah, literally.
I hope there's more to it.
No, literally, it is mini games, one of which is milking a cow.
At least it's just one of them. The whole game, milking a cow.
There's only 18 mini-games, though.
Stroking a goat.
Well, I don't think there's any goat stroking, but I wouldn't be surprised. It looks gash. It looks something that should have been bundled with the console for free, but they're charging like 40 odd quid for it, which is obscene.
It is funny that this is getting released at the same time as a game that's being described as the best game ever.
What shall I buy for my new console? I can only afford one game. One game.
But the best game ever made.
The best game ever made, or a cow milking simulator.
I bet there's some poor parent out there somewhere who's had that dilemma.
No, it's not the poor parent though, is it? It's the poor kid who gets the wrong one.
The poor kid whose parent had a dilemma.
Here, little Jimmy, look what we've bought you. Oh my God! You bought me a Switch and Zelda. No. Udders.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind, eh?
Heart bleeds for him.
Absolutely. So, yeah, patience with the Switch. Patience, that will really pay off. Anything else at the moment? Trying to think off the top of my head. So we've got Ghost Recon coming out. We have Nier Automata coming out, which has also got very good reviews. That's
the one that's like Dark Souls, isn't it? But a samurai.
No, that is Neo. It's a bit confusing.
Oh, for God.
Yeah.
Right.
Both are pretty difficult, niche, pretty good Japanese role-playing games. Action role-playing games, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one is like Dark Souls. Played the beta of that. It's pretty cool. As you say, samurai kind of style. Nier Automata, it's like... That's got robots in it. You play as a woman an anime woman, you'd like her probably.
Oh yes, I do like an anime woman.
I think she's blind or something.
Okay.
So she gets by on her super senses. I'm probably pulling this out of my arse. I know very little about it. I played the demo of it.
Fan out there, just like, what the fuck is this guy on about? She's not blind.
I mean, we can only hope that most people don't know much about it, but the people who don't know anything about it will be none the wiser.
Yeah.
So yeah,
okay.
We'll hope for that. Yeah, that's got really good reviews as well. So yeah, there's Mass Effect coming out. We've got Persona 5 coming out, which I am ridiculously excited for, but that's in a while. We'll get to that at another stage.
Yeah, I think I'll pick that up as well.
Lovely. So we'll draw a line under news and releases.
Just one last thing.
Ooh, yes.
Sorry to go back to Overwatch again.
Oh, God. Please, go ahead.
There's the new character, isn't there? Kind of.
Yeah, that nicely fits into our news section. So, can you remember a fucking name?
It's Skyra. That.
We're doing pretty well at this, aren't we?
Yeah. She's an Egyptian robot, ugly thing with barriers.
I'm not sure how I feel about her, to be honest. She's very defensive, which, yeah, might be fun. But Orisa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
So, yeah, she's kind of a sentry robot with 4 legs. As you say, she's got a barrier. She can buff allies. She's got a lot.
I think her ult buffs all allies, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. But I think she's got a lot of abilities which, all the heroes so far, I think they feel like they have abilities which are distinct. I feel like Blizzard are finally running out of completely unique ideas. Like, what's her name? I always forget her name. The hacker. Sombra. That was quite a cool concept. That was an original new character.
Yeah, she's a really well-made character.
And I'm sure Orisa will be pretty good, and I might actually really enjoy playing her. I often quite like kind of the support roles, more defensive characters. But, yeah, most of her abilities are things which characters already have. There's now a lot of characters that can use shields, isn't there? Obviously, you've got Reinhardt. Symmetra had shields added.
Yep.
Winston's got a shield.
Yep.
There's probably some others I'm forgetting about as well.
Zarya's got her shield thing.
Oh yeah,
Barrier.
yeah. That's just for her, isn't it? But still, it's a shield.
No, well, no. Whereas you can pass it on to someone else as well.
Oh, can she? Okay, cool.
But yeah. Briefly.
Really, I should get on the public test realm and try her out. Orisa, whatever.
Yeah, I thought she seemed quite interesting, but there was. I'm trying to remember them off it, but yeah, I see what you mean. Well, like, one of them's a barrier. One of them like pulls people in. I think,
which is Zarya.
Zarya's like Zarya. Yeah. There was one thing that was a bit longer, and I didn't read it, so I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, I'll suspend judgment until I try her. I think after what's been an incredibly solid cast of characters, she doesn't feel quite as standout as some of the others. Just on paper.
I think she looks horrible as well.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling her aesthetic.
No.
She's got a bit of a weird face. She doesn't... I don't know. Looks aren't everything. Are they?
No.
Well, we'll give her a shot, shall we? And report back. I'll have to try her out on the PTR, or maybe she'll come out on console soon enough. We'll see. And
watch this space.
Back. Any other business before we wrap this up?
No, not for news and releases from me.
No. So we'll go with the usual spiel. We're getting a logo. We're sorting out the social media. We're improving the website.
Are we? What are we doing to the website?
No, the website doesn't really need... Well, yeah, it doesn't need improving, does it? It's fine.
We need a contact form, I think.
Ah, yeah, contact form.
For all those people that don't want to get in touch with us.
Whoa. There's hordes of, like, teenage girls, old men, all sorts of people. They're sat there at home. They just
one extreme of
They want to get hold of us. They really want to pour out their fan mail of indescribable love and adoration towards us. And without a contact form, they can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have left us a fucking review, which I'll let you...
Nice segue.
Yeah, nice segue. Leave us a review. You're one to usually champion the reviews, aren't you?
Yeah, so for our regular listeners, you know who you are. Leave us a sexy review on iTunes. We know who you are because we work with you. So don't make us come and pest you at work and stand behind you as you write it.
We probably will resort to that. What do you reckon?
Yeah, desperate times. I think now we've done a second episode. We've proved we're committed. So I think we deserve people to follow Dark Mark's example and leave us review number 2, so we can give you
we need some
a lovely shout out. We might even sign a coaster for you.
Can we get some coasters made?
We'll have to get the logo first, and then we'll get coasters.
Okay.
And then we can give you a signed coaster.
Brilliant. I love that idea. Love it.
There you go.
Wonderful. And with that, we'll bid all the lovely listeners farewell, shall we?
Yes.
Speak to you again soon, hopefully.
Thanks very much for listening, and we will see you again in a few weeks.
Yes. Hopefully not too many weeks. We'll do our best to get this out quickly, won't we? Yeah,
yep,
we'll do our best.
Always do.
Great. Cheers, folks. Bye.
See ya.